said my prayers. I woke up here to some blinking lights outside of Truck Company G. I was running the streets like a maniac, fucking hookers, doing cocaine, shooting up heroin. I did a lot of prescription drugs and smoked them and shot them up. I got holes in my arm and broken teeth. And in addition to that, I'm gonna put this as an ad on TV. I got 187 skills, and I want to start being a murderer too, instead of just a killer. And if you don't know what the difference between murderers and killers are, you're a dumb fuck. And if you don't know what 187 skills are, you're a dumb fuck too. It's kind of like GBH, except for the kind of shit you don't wake up from. And if you don't know what GBH is, it's kind of say oi, oi, oi. And if you don't skateboard from Brazil, you probably don't say oye, oye, oye. Hear ye, fucking hear ye. Don't talk shit about DC weed. This is not Delta 8. And fuck you people who chime in and make jokes about my suffering for years, and then fucking chime in and talk about this being Delta 8 when you guys are selling fucking swag, dirt weed, spider spray, dumbass shit to us kids in the suburbs. And guess who probably gave it to your dumbass fucking kids? Your parents and your parents' parents. So y'all plotted and schemed with the doctors and the dreamers, and you fucking weaved your fucking chocolate factory and Willy Wonka shit on us. Rather than treating us like adults, you try to teach us all to be Dr. Seuss rather than fucking Dr. Helpful. And then you try to make money off of everybody who gets hurt rather than help us. So again, this is my fucking ad for Nate's List, which is like Craigslist, but it's for murdering people. It's here on Capitol Hill. And this is where we're taking applications at the G Company, Truck Company. It's kind of like independent trucks for skateboarding, except for we have trucks full of murderers. We'll drive them around and kill everyone for you. And only people who like fires and have 187 skills. And again, don't talk shit about DC weed, because it's not Delta 8 fucktards from the suburbs who got all the fucking farms and weird shit y'all got in international travel with all your diplomatic immunity. Fuck you. And how am I going to pay for all these murderers and trucks? The fucking national debt, $34 trillion, dickheads. It's our money now. So we're going to send them out to your neighborhoods. Ha! And I know what you're thinking. Do they install broken shit right when they install it in DC? Pretty much. They have piles of bricks and shit, a bunch of trash everywhere, like condoms everywhere, and fucking liquor bottles. You might think you're like walking around in New Orleans, right? Real close to the French Quarter. In fact, you're in a transitional neighborhood in Washington, D.C. There was a time when D.C. was a beautiful place, exceptional for hundreds of years, thousands of years, and then it turned into fucking Washington, D.C., and it started to lose its charm and glamour after them thousands and thousands and eons, I think they're called, and eons of eons. And then it became this place. And so what we're doing is we've arrived as a team. We're not really murdering everyone, but we're going to kill you with kindness and good legislation. And so in order to kill you with kindness and good legislation, you have to start an organization. Mine's going to be called Mo Ron's Skateboard Corrective. And so you can't pretend to be a skateboarder unless you are. Just like you can't pretend to ride motorcycles unless you do. Or just like you can't be a punk rocker who's hardcore unless you are. You can't like fake shit. You can't fake shit. And so, I'm not here to break shit. We're gonna correct some shit. And that is Capitol Hill right there. And I have been smoking weed in front of the federales and the local police and every kind of other people for like 2.5 years going, whoa. And then I went to jail and they put me through the fucking death throes basically multiple times in multiple years. Now I'm loony, but not totally insane. I'm just crazy. You can't be insane, everyone. And when you go to the doctor with your weed shit, you can't say you're high, ever. Then they'll say they can't see you again if you come back high and you go, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not high. I'm actually feeling quite low, and this is my medication that makes me feel better. And then you're not high. But remember, you are high and you're fucking royal. Haha. That's what everyone has to remember. And these people think we're paying them all this money. $34 trillion, I think. So President Obama bails out all the cokeheads in the auto industry, smart people, just because we needed to save the institutions of whatever. And then we found out from all the movies afterwards, there were a bunch of cokeheads using a bunch of human traffic slaves basically to do coke and buy people to use them for like sex toys rather than dildos and vibrators. And they use people and they have lots of money. And then here comes fucking, guess what? President Trump and President Biden. And guess how much we owe now? 34 trillion. That's like 10 times as much as we owed like just a few years ago when I was, well, in my 30s, I guess. And that's fucked the fuck up. So instead of looking at that shit, look inside your heart and look at that shit. And then you'll actually know how to fucking do your proper things in life and stop fucking everyone over and start loving everyone and trying to put family first again. This is why I met a girl named what the fuck ever from way down yonder. She was the apple of my eye, had a Snapple and some fries. I've been watching you mowing your lawn. If y'all don't know what the fuck that is, don't talk to me neither. It's called ODB. Before all this stupid ass controversy and like, oh, this and that. Come on, y'all. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yeah. Them the ones that better take it away. Fuck them sometimes today. And come on, everybody, let's start to pray. We gotta get it together and make some corrective ways. And so we're here and we're here to stay. Who wants a tour? I'm a lobbyist, I'll take you there today. Except for not really. It's only for certain people. I don't really fucking around like that. So anyways, that's actually where we're heading right there. That's where we're from. Because right there, that right there is called Capitol Hill. That's where they make the federal legislation to either fuck us all or help us all. And right now they've been fucking us. And I think it's been a long time. So what you have to realize is that we need voting day, first of all, to be a paid federal holiday. And voting day should be a paid federal holiday, 100%. And it should be standardized for all local, state, and federal elections and ballots nationwide. So there's no confusion when you move from your county to your city or from state to state. It should be that simple. Super Tuesday, every year voting day. And let's separate church and state. And I go to church every Sunday. I'm a Baptist. Let me tell you something. We need to give Christmas up as a religious holiday and give voting day to be a paid federal holiday. Standardized. Gerrymandering's confusion. Really, Democrat, Republican, red, blue, elephant, donkey, that's confusion as well. But what's not confusing is that if you're tired as fuck and you had a hard day at work and you have a family or a dog or anything else responsible to do that day, you don't want to go and stand in a line and vote, especially when it's cold out. So maybe the actual idea is to even change voting day to another day, get this, to another day that's not going to be a winter day in the cold states, such as North Dakota. So that was my morning revelation here before I go begging for money in Washington, D.C. And I grew up just nearby here in Fairfax County. And I'm 52 years old, 52 years young, as some of us say. And basically it's like this. We need to also reincarcerate all super predators that have been imprisoned and then released back into the streets to scare all of us normal people. Then we need to recognize all sorts of families that are other than the basic Leave It to Beaver, mother, father, and 2-3 kids. And then in addition to that, my medication often runs out. That's because it's not paid for by my insurance, which I have from disability from the federal government. The House of Representatives has voted numerous times to take care of this issue and decriminalize for the past number of years. The Senate does not sign it. That's an issue as well. There are many, many more things we could save our communities and our country with if we simply made a few federal laws. We focus on the areas I just mentioned, a few other things. this country will bounce back like a motherfucking moon bounce that just flew away in the wind with nobody in it. They caught it, put it on the ground, and then actually staked it to the ground with those 3-foot stakes that you're supposed to use instead of a couple of cases of beer and the little metal container that you make balloons with, but everybody's actually hitting it to make themselves like get high. It's called nitrous, not balloons. So let's get ourselves together and let's get some legislation, please. That's easy, right? That's easy, right? That's easy. Okay, so yesterday, there's some kind of Nazi at this place last week, and I think he was there yesterday, so his friends were saying some dumb magical stuff, and I've been telling people I've got ESP and clairvoyance and clairvoyance, gifts of God, or telepathy, or some other kind of stuff, and I'm trying to learn how to use it properly. You know what's more fun than any of that, since I'm saying it's fun to a lot of people at a restaurant? Look, as a psychic, you know what's fun to do? Sit around psychic places and heckle them. Just think about stuff when you're heckling them. And but anyways, I was gonna make a video about baseball because they've got a nice baseball set up in front of the Marion Barry Municipal Building at 14th and U Street. We get your medical cannabis cards in the city of Washington, D.C. in the United States, District of Columbia, the nation's capital. And I found the sun going down between two little posts on top of the building as if to make a football video when you kick. And I have a cousin who's in robotics named Ray, and his cousin has my art in her attic, which I hope to get to. And now I'm gonna kick a field goal for him because he was a kicker for Carnegie before he injured himself and hurt his ankle. And I think he did a spiral fracture just like me when I was skateboarding, except where I got 8 screws in a metal plate. And since he's Ray, he has no screws and metal plates in his ankles. And he went on to do robotics. But he's not like my friend Kevin Blankenspore, who represented Dynacorp for their robot dogs on Anderson Cooper, also known as 60 Minutes. Anyways, watch this field goal with this sunshine, because the way that the camera will naturally adjust, it'll make it like bleed out, and then you'll see it right between the poles when I zoom in. It's pretty cool. I said a hip, a hop, a hip, a hop to the hip hop, and you don't stop. I said up jump the rhythm to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Now what you hear is not a test. I'm crapping on the street because I am the one to mic and the government pays me to do defeat. So we're fucking you up from another place and now go back to my own disgrace. Ha! And don't forget, it's not just about Captain Stubing and the Love Boat. It's also about Nesbitt. You know, the monkeys. Hey, hey, we're the monkeys. People like to monkey around. Come to Washington, D.C., smoke a bunch of weed and don't wear a frown. And if the cops fuck with you, say I'm on mushrooms, what can you do? And laugh funny and pretend like you're some kind of elf or gnome or fairy and shit. Just hop around weird and the cops won't arrest you. Just be nice about it and they'll probably let you smoke. Just don't be an asshole and cause fights or break shit. And don't steal shit, because you start stealing shit like people have started to do in D.C., you can't be an asshole in D.C. There's been so much crime lately and all this weird shit, all these criminal children everywhere. What are we going to do? They had to bring in special police on the subways, in public spaces. These kids, they're rotten and nasty. But what do you expect? Fucking Washington, D.C. has been fucking people since the slave master started fucking the men and the women, and then when they fucked the women, they'd sell the kids. The men, they just fucked them to put them in their place. Of course, not all of them. Some of them, they did what's called mandingo fighting, which was after dinner, they'd have them murder each other in front of each other. And, you know, watch that movie Django Unchained, and you'll get a whole new appreciation for Martin Scorsese in the movie Taxi Driver, which is what me and my friends are doing for the world. So don't worry, it's okay, unless you're evil. Ha ha.